Hello Messer people! In this video we will be looking at the Glasgow Fechtbuch, otherwise known by its much more catchy title MSE 1939-65341. In this video we will show our interpretation of the 11 Messer items of the Fechtbuch based on a transcription by Dirk Hagedorn, which is available on victornow.com. Links below in the description. Now, on to the items. This is a straightforward and recognizable situation. Somebody wants to hit us in the head. We're in a guard that is similar to Eber from Le Küchner, or for you longsword people, Flug. We displace, or parry, the blade coming at us with the most obvious parry available to us. If we need to, we can take a small step with the front foot, for example, to get our parry into a better spot. When we are safe from the incoming blade, we step or spring with the back foot. At the same time, we cut our opponent in the face, or wherever is convenient really. Ideally, we want our step to take us away from the opponent's blade, since we're no longer blocking it. The whole thing looks like this. We're once again being threatened from above. But now, instead of just displacing with an optional foot movement, we step forwards as we displace. When we're safe from the incoming cut, we step to the left side with our right foot and cut our opponent in the head or wherever is convenient. With the left foot, we then align ourselves so that we face our opponent again. This is called the triangle step for the very obvious reason that the position of our feet ends up describing a triangle. Essentially, this item is the mirrored version of item 1. You may have noticed that I don't complete the triangle step, but instead I decided to keep walking. Evidently I was confident that my opponent was no longer a threat. Which is either brave or very foolhardy. Don't be foolhardy, be smart. The whole thing looks like this. Here we're again being attacked from above, but now our Messer is pointing towards the ground somewhere to our front or left. It might even be pointing backwards. Who knows? As the attack comes in, we raise our hand and the point of our Messer in an arc, and the back edge of our Messer comes into contact with the opponent's blade. As soon as we're safe, we step with our left foot forwards and left, and we cut at their head, or again, wherever is convenient really. And with the right foot we realign ourselves so that we're facing the opponent in case they take a mad swing at us. The triangle step again. The whole thing looks like this. We find ourselves in a position or guard where our Messer is generally pointing down the way. Our opponent might be in a point forward guard and sees a chance for a thrust. Being keen not to be stabbed, we yank our Messer from right to left whilst keeping the point down. The aim is to put our Messer in between us and their blade as quickly as possible. Once we're safe, we can step forwards and right and hit our opponent wherever is convenient or easy. We then angle ourselves with the triangle step towards our opponent so that we're ready for whatever comes next. And this is what it looks like. This item is for when we're truly desperate, when our opponent is coming at us hard and fast, intending to embed their blade in our forehead. Or something equally unfriendly. In this situation we put our offhand onto the back of the blade. Please don't grab the blade, just support it. Don't cut your own fingers. As soon as the opponent's Messer hits ours, we twist towards our dominant side. This causes our opponent's blade to slide down to our crossguard and rather nicely positions our point perfectly to thrust into their face. It's a delightfully simple motion, essentially twist and stab. This is what it looks like in its simplicity. In some cases, we might not be able to get our Messer all the way up to a horizontal position. Maybe our opponent is quicker than we expected, maybe we are slower than we expected. In such a case, we meet our opponent's blade with our point still facing downwards. Instead of trying to get our Messer up to horizontal, we don't even try. Instead, we use the opponent's blade as a swivel. Our offhand and the point move downwards and out, our main hand moves upwards and in, and our edge ends up directly under our opponent's hand. After which we cut our opponent's arm, hand, or both. This is what that looks like in its entirety. We start with the right foot forwards and our Messer to our side somewhere. We might call this a Schrankhut-like position. As the thrust comes in, we cut against their blade to get it out of the way, and once we're safe from being stabbed, we step with the left foot forwards and to the side in a now very familiar manner. Yes, it's the triangle step again. At the same time as we step, we stab or cut the opponent wherever is convenient. And this is what it looks like in its entirety. This item also deals with a heavy weapon or heavy strike. Once again, we use our offhand to support the blade, and once again we twist the point of our Messer towards the opponent's face. And that is what that looks like. In this variation of the item, we stop the cut as before. But then, we use the back edge of our blade as a hook against the opponent's throat. We step in, making sure our leg is behind theirs, and we throw them onto the ground. If our Messer has a false edge or a clipped point, we might even give them a nice cut across the throat as an extra bonus. Whilst this technique is a less lethal way of dealing with an opponent, it's also mostly impractical for HEMA purposes. Throwing somebody to the floor, if they're not properly trained, or if the floor is not suitably throwing friendly, like this concrete floor isn't, it is likely to result in somebody getting hurt. Please remember that the safety of our training partners is the most important thing. This is what that looks like. We are once again in some kind of point down position when the opponent thrusts, or indeed cuts, at us from a low or low-ish position. We bring the Messer across, similarly to item 3, as we step slightly out of the way. We're not displacing far enough to be safe without the step, but with the step we avoid being stabbed. As we step, we bring our offhand forwards, grab or push their arm, wrist, or Messer out of the way. We only need their blade out of the way so that we are free to cut them through the torso or face or wherever we manage to hit. We are then in a perfect position to swagger off, or much more likely, run off if we are slightly more concerned for our continued well-being. And that is what that looks like. This item is effectively a counter to item 1. We attack, our opponent parries. They think they have us, but instead of letting them hit us and win, we grab their blade as soon as our Messer has been parried. We want to invert our hand so that when we grab for their Messer, the back of our hand is towards us and the thumb is towards the outside. That way, when we grab and pull, we can pull it out of their grasp more easily, and we don't have any fingers that get in the way or in contact with the edge of their blade. Which is nice if you like your fingers to stay attached to your hand. The text does say we should throw their Messer away, but since we are on a concrete floor, we decided that that might not be the best of ideas ever. And that's what the entirety of that looks like. Once again, we are being attacked from above. We might be in yet another point down position, or a Schrankhut-like position, or wherever we find ourselves. When the attack comes in, we parry and catch their blade on our crossguard. We want our palm to point towards us and the hilt pointing to our left, if we're right-handed, of course. When we have parried, we roll our wrist so that our hilt moves around and over their arm, hooking it. We then step in, and with our offhand, we grasp the opponent's elbow, and then we twist their arm, and, according to the text at least, we throw them onto their face. Now, clearly we are not throwing each other. Mainly, that is due to the concrete floor. As I said before, the safety of our training partner is our most important consideration, especially when dealing with throws. And that's what it looks like in its entirety. We are once again finding ourselves in a Schrankhut-like position, and once again we're being attacked from above. From our low position, we cut at our opponent's messer to parry it. The precise cut we do, or the direction, is really not very important. What is important is the effect, namely, not being hit. Once we're safe, we use our old friend, the triangle step, this time aiming our cut at their arm. Although, if we hit other parts of the opponent, that's probably also fine. At least until we have to explain what just happened to the City Watch. And this is what that looks like in its entirety. So, those are all 11 items from the Glasgow Fechtbuch in order of appearance in the text. And with that, we have arrived at the end of the video. If you disagree with our version, if you have any comments, if you have any questions, or if you just like talking about Messer, why not get in touch? We'll be back with more videos in the future, and we hope to see you back here then. Bye for now.